Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Sometimes you may think that it's easier to just do the chores than to fight with the kids over it. Is there a solution for that? Let's welcome Angela Meyers from Kudos for Families to the table.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
You are definitely a guest. I am excited to hear from.
Good.
So.
I'm thrilled to be here. Just like chatting with friends, going to lunch with friends,
Yes,
right?
Yes,
absolutely. So we're excited to learn from you.
Tell us a little bit about your program before we dive into what it is.
Okay. So basically, years ago, I went to school, got a couple of degrees, psychology and family life education, and then I didn't have any children. So I was like, this is not a good thing. So I was desperate for kids, finally had kids. And then I remember they were still young, had boys, and I thought, parenting is hard. This is so dang hard. And I'm supposed to know what I'm doing.
I have all these degrees even, and it's
I'm
still
supposed
hard?
to know. I mean, I focused on parenting, and it's hard. And I think a lot of women, parents, get to that point where you think, wow, this is not as easy as I thought it would be. It's a lot harder. Did you guys find
Yes.
that?
Absolutely.
You need all the help you can get.
can even learn about it in a parenting book.
Yes.
And then when you go to apply it, you're like,
Oh boy. Let me refer to the book just a moment.
Yeah. Give me a second.
it's just the emotions and the, sometimes that just, I don't know. I have one girl and she's enough for 5 girls. So there
Some
you go.
are harder than others.
Yeah.
And you do the same thing with
Yeah.
them, and you're like, why did it work with that child, but it's not working with
true.
this
Yes,
child?
absolutely.
Yeah, so I just thought I need something that will help me take all that stuff I learned and actually make it happen on the day-to-day. And so I dumped it all into my Kudos for Kids program, and I've been doing that. People have been using that for years. It's a great program. Kids get Kudo Cash, they earn things. It works on behavior and all that type of thing. So I just felt like it was important for regular parents to know the principles. Because like you say, even if you read a book, you're not sure how to implement it, or each kid is different. So my idea is you set it all up ahead of time. You know what to do when something happens. Your kids know what's going to happen when they do something they shouldn't. And also a big emphasis I have is work and how important that is for kids. So
tell us how you get kids to work.
okay, that's a great question, one that I love, because I've noticed that, and you've probably seen this too, there's a big problem nowadays with kids not being able to adult. So they grow up, they move out of the house, and lo and behold, they can't pay their bills, they can't hold a job, they don't even want a job.
They move back in.
They move back in, they live in the basement. And so it's a big problem in our society that needs to be dealt with. And I think it goes directly back to the fact that our kids are not really learning how to work at home. We give them everything. Like every gizmo gadget, everything that they need. We rescue them from everything, trying to be good parents, thinking if I'm a good parent, I'm gonna make sure they have all these lessons, they have all the latest phone technology. If they are failing at something, I'll swoop in and rescue. And then what happens is they learn that somebody else always takes care of them. And they don't gain the self-confidence. And I think mentally it's important to know that I'm responsible for myself, that I can take things and do them, accomplish things, and be prepared for life. And so how do you get parents get kids to work was the question, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so the key is you've got to get them to want to work first, right?
Ooh.
Yes.
And so, but because we give them everything and they don't need anything, they have no desire to work.
It's taken away that motivation.
The motivation is gone.
Yes.
If they know that they want to go out with friends and they just go to you and you bring out your wallet and give them the cash, when you say, hey, you can do these jobs for me and earn money, what's the point?
Right.
They can just come and get it for free with no effort. And so they do. And it's just a natural way we are as human beings. We take the path of least resistance. So you have to create the need. So unfortunately for the kids, I say you've got to stop giving everything and say they can earn it. You don't go to them and say, okay, from now on, kids, you get nothing. You have to earn everything. Instead, you say, you know how you always want to be on the game system and I tell you you can't? Now there's a way for you to earn it. You can earn like 2 hours of I won't nag you time on the game system. And so by taking away everything that we give them, not everything, but not giving them everything, we set them up with that need, which motivates them to want to work and earn.
Well, and really, these are the extras, right? I mean, they have food, they have clothing, they have shelter,
Yes.
they have all their needs met. These are the extras. I remember when I gave my kids phones, they had to sign a contract, and if they weren't doing A, B, or C, I was like, phone comes right back.
Smart mom.
And so I'm like, it's in the contract. You wrote up the rules.
Yes,
Love
and
that,
because
Angela.
because you had it set up ahead of time,
Then they knew.
they knew what to expect. And so if it's set up ahead of time, a lot of the emotional drama is not there. You can just blame the contract. Oh gosh, the contract said, sorry, that was a
And you were
choice.
involved in that
And they were
contract.
involved,
Yes.
and the more they can help you, the better off. So my idea is not just have them earn money for things, although that's a big part of it. It's also earning privileges. So if they want to go out with friends, or they want to have a pizza party with friends, I encourage parents to have like a privileges list, and they list things that their kids want. The kids list the things that they want to earn. And then to them, it's like this big party. All right, I'm going to get to do all those things that mom and dad normally say I can't do. And so it's really,
And that's empowering for
it's
them.
empowering.
That is.
And they feel good. I remember taking my kids to the store after they got all their Kudos cash for doing all their things, and they knew that they wanted a pet. So I said, okay, you have to look up everything the pet needs, figure out the cost. Going to the store with them and standing there at the cash register and telling the clerk, these 2 boys earned all the money for those things, and they just beamed because they felt proud of themselves.
Yeah.
They realized they can accomplish things. They know how to set their minds to something and do it. And these are skills they need later in life. So I'm really strong on kids needing to work.
Well, and there are studies that say that self-mastery is how you get self-confidence.
Yes.
Like that is true.
Yes.
If your kids have low self-esteem, if they are struggling with anything in that department, it's have them feel like they can do something.
Yeah.
I love that.
And
That
accomplish.
is so true. And I think that speaks to the lack of confidence. Sometimes the anxiety, feeling there's no control over life, that type of thing. And yet, as parents, it's much easier sometimes to just do it ourselves.
Oh, it totally is.
But if you
Angela,
set it up ahead of time, it works.
I
So,
love it. I love
yeah.
everything you've said. Do you have a PDF to help parents
I do.
with this?
So my PDF, I have a free game. I call it I'd Be Happy To game. And basically it will change the attitudes in your home within a day. So this too goes to being responsible for how you speak to others. So basically it's called I'd Be Happy To. You go to the website, it's kudosforfamilies.com, and there's video on how to do it, and it's a PDF, and you can see results in less than a day. Like less than a day, you can change the attitudes in your home. Because basically you have a privileges list. They learn that they have to earn things, that every time they say, I'd be happy to, after you ask them,
Game changer.
they have to smile and go do it. Say, I'd be happy to. Every time they do that, you give them this stupid little smiley face piece of paper.
Okay.
Well, if you have my system, you give them Kudos cash. But if
Okay.
you don't, people that don't have the system can just do it. It's free, and it's like gold to get these little tokens, because like one
love
family
it.
that I
I'm
know,
dying, and I don't even have kids at home.
It's like miraculous. Parents are like, no, it works in an hour. But one family that I know, their big deal was the kids get to lay on the floor in mom and dad's room and sleep that night. They will do anything for that to earn those 10 tokens, or it could be to earn a kid's meal, or it could be to earn another privilege or whatever. And so it's magical. It really works, and that's one small part of my system.
I'd be
So,
happy to.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then as
that's
parents,
good.
Can we
it
include the yes,
changes the
ma'am?
attitude.
Yes,
And you don't
ma'am,
have to say
episode.
I'd be happy to. You can change the
Oh, I
phrase.
love that.
But and I say I'd be happy to all the time. So you'll find you're telling your kids to say it, and then they ask you to do something. You're like, I'd be happy to.
But it's kind of
And
whatever,
it's sort of
like,
ridiculous,
is
but
for
it's
your
good.
family,
Yes,
right? Like whatever
works.
you need to improve on.
Yeah, and it works for all ages. Mostly I'm focusing on like 3 years old to about 13. But in homes where they're doing that for those age groups, the teenagers start doing it, and it changes the whole attitude, the whole environment in the home. Seriously, like less than a day.
Well,
And kids buy into it.
Every kid has something that they want.
Oh, they do.
And you just need to leverage that in the right way.
Find out what their hot buttons
that.
are, the things
Yeah.
that mean something
Yeah.
to them. Yeah, so
do
it
you-
works great.
What do you do with the kids that are complaining? I raised 4 kids, and there were a couple that just complained and whined and.
That's what this is for, the I'd
Okay.
Be Happy To game.
So
Because
that
you're
changes
focusing
that.
on the positive. Every time they do something, you're
That's
rewarding
great.
the positive. So you're rewarding the behavior, you're feeding the behavior you want to increase, and you're ignoring or starving the behavior you want to decrease.
Okay.
So by rewarding for I'd be happy to and ignoring the complaining, it kind of subsides. Now there are options and things you can do to work on complaining and that type of thing also. We have the heart-to-heart games that include something like that. But just focusing on what you want to increase will make it grow.
So are you
Okay.
rewarding both the attitude and the behavior, like a double?
Yes, because they're saying, I'd be happy to with a smile.
So if they just do it, even though they're like sulking about it, you're like, okay, I'll reward you doing it.
Yes.
But then if they're
But
like,
if you want the little sticker.
No. I'm
You
sorry, I
have to do it.
misunderstood. They have to have a good attitude and do it.
Okay.
Okay.
I'd be happy to smile and go do it. And they do it, and it works. It's
Okay.
amazing. So, yeah.
Yeah, because there will be opposition sometimes, right? When you have the stick in the mud or
Yes.
or the entitlement, because there is the entitlement that comes sometimes like, well, I'm just gonna do it, or I should get it because
Because of my brilliant personality.
right.
Yes.
I am who I am, Mom, so you're going to get
Yes.
it for me.
And that's, I guess, when the parent has to hold firm, because that's my problem, right? Because I get
It's hard to be
I know
consistent.
that's my problem.
That's why you need a system, because then you don't have to think about it.
Because
You
I
just don't have to think.
yes, I give in.
And those 2 kids can sign a contract or give you their 5 things they want to do.
The phone is a biggie, because oftentimes it's pretty easy to win that one. I'm like, well, just give me the phone.
Yeah, give me the phone. Yeah.
With the older one.
Yes. Well, and if they
Yeah.
see the other kids getting the privileges by doing the I'd be happy to or whatever it
You get to
is,
do it too.
they're smart.
you don't
and
even
they
have to
pick
say
up on
anything
it.
to them. They're going to pick up on it when they want something that's on that list. They're going to, eventually maybe.
Love it already.
This whole
Yes,
system
right,
sounds amazing. So people just need to go to your website, and there's so much advice and wisdom there that they don't even have to buy,
No, that's right.
that it's just there for them.
And it's a fairly new nonprofit organization, and I've just started a podcast, so that those will be coming out on a weekly basis.
Oh, awesome.
So your podcast, what do you talk about?
It's all about parenting.
All about
everything,
parenting.
like how to communicate with your kid, how to, what to do when your child does this. The things that are tricky for parents, but that can be just simple, tiny things. Because we're all parents, we're trying so hard, and we get frustrated, we get overwhelmed, and yet just by making those tiny, tiny changes, we can make a huge difference. I like to think of us as having a parenting baton that has been passed from generation to generation. And when you get it, yours might be dusty and dirty, or even have been dropped and you have to pick it up. And yet you can pick up that baton and make these tiny changes that will make a difference for your children and for generations to come. Just
Absolutely.
break those cycles. So, yeah.
Does this system work for husbands too?
Unfortunately, no, but I have heard parents where the wife will say, "Honey, you're on the token economy." Well, how many smiley faces do you have today? How much kudo cash do you have? So, I mean,
I
it
like
depends
it.
on if he's amenable to it,
There you
can
go.
try.
Well, thank you for joining us. This
Thank
was
you
fun.
for having me.
Super
This
fun.
is great.
Love
You guys
it.
are fun to talk to.
Oh, thank you. We'll have you back.
Thank you so much.
Coming up next on Studio Chatter, did you know that you can now get those medical IV services done in your home? Stay with us.